I want to welcome everybody here. Can you hear me? I want to welcome everybody here. Can you hear me? I want to welcome everybody here. Can you hear me? Okay. That should be better. Did that take out the humming noises? Can you hear me? John, can you hear me? Tell me how my volume is. Music. There should be no music. Is the music on your end, John? Ah, you're still in Deck's room. That's Deck's music. Can you hear it? That's Deck's music. Okay. All right. What I wanted to do is to, first of all, welcome all you that are here right now, and to ask you first on if anybody has your mic isn't very loud. Okay, good. That's a good start. Let me see if I can make it louder. All right. Let me just see what I'm doing here. All right. Give me a second. I got it. It's on full beat. Uh-oh. My mic's not loud enough. Properties. Device. Default. Let's see. Speakers. I don't want speakers. Something's wrong here. Here we go. Okay. Got it. How about now? I'm pushing it up. How's my level now? Wait till I come back. Okay. I put the level up on the mic. You should be able to hear me now. Okay, much better. Great. Okay, you know, it takes a few times when you start doing this to pretty much get the settings where you want them, because every time you turn them off, you don't always remember where you had them set. I just wanted to go over something with you today. While we were in Vine, a lot of things were happening today, and oh, did I just close that off? Okay. And if you can see up here, what I'm doing is there's some arrows. Arrows going up, arrows going down, arrows going up. And what those arrows are is from TTM Squeeze and TTM Scalper. This is an easy put inside of anybody who's got TOS, Thinkorswim. And what this does is it picks up like an algorithm, and it'll tell you when a stock is about to go up and when the stock's about to go down. And if you look at the chart here, each and every time it's done that, it's pretty much gone down, consolidated. Here, it tells you to go up, and if you waited it out, it did, and it went up, and then you would have got out. And if you went across, you see here, it says it's going to go down, and that was a green candlestick, and it says it was going to go down here, and it did, and it consolidated. And here, if you look over here on the TTM Squeeze, it tells you that the stock is about to go up. When you speak loud, you want it peeking into the orange. Okay, am I peeking in the orange, Yo Cherry? Let me see. I'm peaking now, and I can go a little bit. Okay, I can go a little more. How about now? Is that good? That's about as loud as I can go before I hit the red. Only you can see that. You're talking about here on the chart? You can't see that? No, I'm not in the red. I'm fine. I want to go back to the chart here with the TTM Scalper. Do any of you... No, I understand my mic, but I have to go back to OBS Studio each time to check to see where it's actually at. and I'm fine. It's almost to the end before it hits the orange and the red. So that gives more volume, I understand, without going into distortion. Excellent. Okay, does anybody here have TTM squeeze or would like to have it? Because it's an easy put. And if anyone's interested, I can tell you how you can do it and how you can get in. Unfortunately, let's see here. Oh, I can. If you go up to the top of the page, and you can see my mouse on the page where it says the 1 minute, and one over, right here, there's a little gear. And if you hit the gear, it opens up, tell you what, that's not the right one, sorry. The next one over, Edit Studies. If you go into Edit Studies, you can go over to right here where it says Edit Studies and Strategies, and you can type in TTM. You don't have to put anything else in there. And what comes up after it goes in, you'll see below it says TTM Scalper Alert and TTM Squeeze. So what you want to do is you want to start with the first one, and then you want to add the selected. I already have it, so I'm not going to push the button. After you do that one, you have to do it again, put in TTM, or it might still be up there, and you hit TTM Squeeze, and you hit the Add Selected, and then it'll appear on the right side. You'll have your TTM Scalper Alert, and then below, you'll have your TTM Squeeze. You with me so far? Give me a little thumbs up on the down below, just to let me know that we're good. And then what you would do is you would apply and say OK. And as you can see in my studies, I have a simple moving average 50. I have a VWAP, which you definitely should have. I have a 13-day moving average exponential, which I find to be very useful, because if a stock is following the 13-day exponential and it goes above, I know a stock is bullish, and if it goes below, I know a stock is bearish. And then below that, I have a 200-day, which I find to be a little useless because you actually have to go into the top where it says 1 minute and put that on the daily for the 200 to actually work. So with that said, you apply that, you apply and say OK. And then we're going to X out of there. So as you can see, my lines are different. This blue line here is my 13-day. I also have on my VWAP what's considered an upper band, and I have also a lower band right here. So if I was to click on one of these right now, if I double click, it'll open up and it'll show you VWAP customizing. And if it says upper band, I have it checked, and the lower band, I have it checked. And if I uncheck it, it'll take one of those two lines out. And I never used to use it, and somebody came along and showed me how useful it was. And a lot of times I find that when a stock drops, okay, you see right here, if you look at Vine at about 11 o'clock, you see where it came down and it hit the lower VWAP band. And then it came back and retracted. And then it came up and hit the VWAP here, came down below, and it kind of played with the VWAP till then, even till now. And you can see, like each time the TTM Squeeze puts an arrow and it shows you it's going to go up a little because it's picking up the algorithm of the amount of people, amount of traders that are actually either shorting the stock or selling, or shorting the stock or selling the stock, or buying the stock and selling the stock. And it takes an average of that and shows when there's more going up opposed to more going down. And that's how that works. And it's a great tool. And especially for new people who really don't have a real grasp on support and resistance, this is a great help. And one of the things you're going to need to learn how to do is to be able to read a chart and know when, where the support and resistance is. So if we actually took this and changed it to about a 5 minute, so now we can see the entire let me make it a little bigger here. Okay, now you can kind of see the whole chart. You can kind of get an average of where the stock is. We know we have a high of 975 with twice going to about 940 and coming back down. All right, so 940 is a very, very hard resistance point. But over the last hour or two, we've had a lot of resistance right at the VWAP, which is around $8.60. So we know right now there's our resistance, and our support is somewhere down around, I'm going to say around 760.
Help you guys out for a moment.
Hold
I
on,
want to give a
turn
quick
that
little lesson. Not a quick lesson,
Hold
just a
on
quick
1 second.
update. VINE. What did we say?
Let's
We
listen
do
to
not
this for 1 second.
buy at the VWAP. Team, notice when we come up to the VWAP, we get rejected. Do not look for VWAP breaks. Look to get in low. Right?
All right, I'm going to turn that off. Did you hear what Deck just said? This is exactly what I just said to you. That right now, it's coming up to the VWAP and it's coming back down. So our new resistance point I told you was at the VWAP, and our support was down around 760. So this is kind of how you take a look in a channel, okay? We can't go back through the whole day, but we do know that sometimes old support, that old resistance becomes the new support. And when that happens, each time it's going to raise up. Almost like doing a trail stop. And if you look back here, we can see that this stock can come back. If you look in the beginning, you can see some of our support and some of our resistance with $7, $6.97 to $7 being a very, very low support if the stock ever just dropped down really hard. Which means, we never know when some trader who's got a lot of money and is holding a lot of shares is going to just go and drop a lot of shares at one time. And if you don't have some sort of a stop loss, you're going to get nailed. Now, the big question is, how do I make a stop loss? How do I do this in Thinkorswim? And a lot of people, a lot of traders that I talk to don't know how to do it. They think that they can put one after they already did the trade. But between you and I, if I could go up, I can't do it in here. If I could bring my monitor in here, I'd show you my buys and my sells today. That my average stock trade today might have been 12 seconds, maybe less. So where's your time? If you buy a stock, you don't have time to put a stop loss. Now, I find in the morning, very early, you don't need them as often. In pre-market, you cannot put a stop loss. But in the regular trading hours, 9:30 to, let's say, 10:30, things are moving so fast that stop losses sometimes, if you go to put one in, you're going to lose time. But here is something that a lot of folks don't know. You have to be sure now when you're going to set these up that your auto send button right here, can you see it on the top right? That your auto button is, sort of stop send is off, and mine is. You go into the chart, okay? And when you go into the chart, you hit your right mouse button, and you go down to where it says Buy Custom. You go across, and you go up to where it says With Stop. When you do that, all right, it's going to open up on the bottom. It's not going to buy you. Now, whatever shares you have, like up here in the quantity, I have 500. Wherever you have quantity on your page, whenever you change that, it changes in all the places at the same time. So now, if you set up like I do, I like to do 500 shares at a time. And I take the stock, it says buy 500 shares of Vine at $9.42, but that's not the price right now. The price is $8.11. So what we do is open this lockbox. Watch. When we open it, it drops down, and as long as it's open, it's going to show the current price of the stock. But what we want to do for all purposes is we want to put in some sort of a stop limit. So what we do is close it. Now we have 807. And if I take 807, okay, 807, and I take away 25 cents, because I am willing to lose 25 cents or $125 on 500 shares. I'm looking to make a minimum of 250, which is giving me a 2-to-1. So that means I need to change this on the bottom right here. I put my mouse in there and I change that to $7.82. So now I have a what I do? Here it is. Okay, I have a $7.82. So when I open the lock now, you'll see that it's 25 cents less. Okay, and that's important. Now, also, if I wanted to do a trail stop, I can drop this up and go to trail stop, but I'm not going to do that right now. We'll go into that at another time. But you can do trail stops, stop limits, limit orders, market orders. I can change this to a market order so it does an instant buy. And the good thing about a market order is even if I hit the button at any given price on a market order, I'm guaranteed to get totally filled. With a limit order, I'm not. I could put in for 500 and end up with 386 shares. All right, but for right now, all purposes, what I want to do is show you. So we have this now. It's showing there's a 25. So if I hit this button to confirm and send right now, it would buy me in on a limit order of 783. And as long as the stock stayed above 758, I would be good. All right. But what we're going to do is instead of delete, we're going to go right here. And this button stands for save. All right. So I hit this and you may have to bring this out so you can see it. And it says riggers all 500. Buy 500, sell 500, and you would save it. I'm going to cancel it because I've already have it myself. So now I'm going to delete this to show you where it is. So I delete this, and the next time I want to buy a stock, I leave the auto send button on. I do this. I go down to buy custom. I go across, and I go to buy riggers. You see, I have first riggers here in extended hours. Okay, because if I'm in PM pre-market or I'm in after hours, I have to have EXT. So I have one set up for after hours. I also have, if you look down here, I have short. I can sell 500. And the minute I do that, okay, I want to make sure my thing's off. I don't want to buy it right now. It is. Okay. So if I go in now and I'm going to buy, I'm going to show you how quick. Buy custom. My mouse is a little riggy because I'm looking up at a different monitor. And I hit this, I'm ready to buy. All I do have to hit confirm and send. But I have to open the lock button first because it'll give the right price. So if I hit confirm and send, I will pick it up at 780, and right now it went to 782, it's 780. But you see here, this is your level 2. This shows me there's only 100 shares, 200 shares, 100 shares, 600 shares. So if I want to buy 5,000 shares, I'm not getting in on a limit order for 5,000 shares. But if I do a market order for 5,000 shares, I will buy all these prices here. I'm going to buy all these 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. You see the price change? I can buy as high as 950. So you got to be very careful when you buy large quantities of stock on a market order when you don't realize the different price changes and where you're going to get bought in. On a limit order, you know you're guaranteed to get the price, but you're not guaranteed to get a total fill on that order. Are you all with me right now? I see there's about 18 people here. Any questions? Go ahead, Lucky. Give me a question. How you doing, Robert? I have any questions here on this, or any other questions about Thinkorswim, things that I might not even come across yet? We're going to be going over a lot of things over the next few weeks. I'm going to teach you all how to do Fibonacci. I'm going to check into Bollinger Bands and try to see how it gets set up. So there's a lot of things that I still don't know, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to learn it the night before for you, and then we can go over it together. And some of you might have some idea about it, and we learn from each other. I mean, this is the greatest thing about Deckmart Trades and these rooms is we're a family, and we're here to help each other become better traders. And there's no better situation out there that I can think of, or any other chat room where you can do this. And a lot of you know that I'm like the chat police in the rooms, or the moderator in Deck's room. And a lot of people may be getting angry when you type things in incorrectly. There's a really good reason why I get on your case for doing it, especially the new people. And the reason is when you type in, like right now, if I type in, let's see, VIN, and then I put a low E. When I hit opposed to, okay, doing let's see, VINE. Okay, the difference is when you click on this one, you're not going to get the right stock. That's number one. If I click on this and it opens up, I just did it, but it won't show on the board, so forget it. It's going to open to a stock that doesn't exist or the wrong stock. And if I do something like, if I do no dollar sign and I just type in VINE, even though I've got the right stock, you can't click on it. So now you've got to type it in somewhere. And when you do that, okay, I am live right now, MK. I've been live since 12 o'clock. So when you type in VINE this way, what happens is you don't necessarily you can't go to Yahoo Finviz to look up this stock, because the first thing I do when somebody puts out a new stock is I open it, I go to statistics, I check the float, then I close it, I go to see if there's any news. If there's no news, then I'll check other news carriers like Stock Titan, I'll check Wall Street Journal, I'll check Market News. I have about 5 or 6 different icons that I keep open above my chat room, that I can open at any time and get the information that I need. And that's how I'm able to do things as quick as I do. I'm doing good, Sean. It's good to see you here. I thought you were in your own room right now. He's in 2 places at one time. Sean and I spoke the other night for about an hour, helping each other out, synergizing on how to go live and do certain things. He's great. I wish I had his temperament, and his voice is perfect for broadcasting. So if you don't know Sean World, guys, he's got a great thing going on over there. Oh, I'm sorry. You want a couple of... I got something a little strong, otherwise I'll give you some ibuprofen. I'm here today. I didn't tell everybody. I just kind of snuck in and just... I'll be ready full-blown next week with a few great ideas. But we went over this morning about the TTM squeeze and how it works, and I was showing them how you can look at the dots and these things here with the arrows, and you have to go back. Mostly it's easier in a 1 minute, and you can see each time when the TTM squeeze tells you to buy in. Now the problem with the TTM squeeze, it's usually 1 and sometimes 2 candlesticks delayed. So you might not see the arrow till about here, but it's not too late. Most of the time, it'll work. Okay, this has been a tricky stock because in the end here, it's been in a column. But you see here where it said to buy, right now it's still, that was at about 765, and right now we're at 785. So if you had bought when the TTM squeeze told you to buy in, you'd be up 20 cents. So if you had 1,000 shares, you made a quick $200. That's a New York accent that's been living in Florida longer than most of you are alive in years. Any questions here? I know there's only about 18 people here, but somebody's got to have a question. Sean, how does it sound? Am I loud and clear? No music over at Deck's house. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Oh, but nobody's coming to do it anyway. I always have to make sure I go up to the top of the page and click on the tag messages so we don't get that beeping sound. But I don't know if you've heard it or not. I forgot to turn it off. I keep telling Sean to turn it off. Everything is good. Over how you were approaching Vine at the first run. Well, actually, I got in Vine. And if you saw earlier, I'm the one who alerted VINE when VINE was at about $7.45, about $7.35. I said that if we reach $7.75, which we did right after I said it, that the next leg up was $8.75, and it did exactly what I said it was going to do. And the problem is, I should play my own alerts. I alert to you traders all the time, and I'm correct more than 90% of the time. Credible. That's why I'm a moderator. But I don't always play my own alerts, and that's unfortunate because I could be making a lot more money than I'm making. But very early down the road here, let's see, we were about, I think it was around here, it's 7:39. Is that before it jumped up? No, it had to be much earlier than that. Okay, right in here. So it was down around here, 744 in this area here. I alerted that the stock was going to go to 775, and once it went over 775, we were looking at 875. And if you look around here, that's exactly what it did. It went to 9 something, I believe, before it came back. About 910, 918, and then it pulled back a little bit. And then you can see here in the alert, in the TTM alert, where it tells you to sell down, and here where it tells you to buy up. If you had followed these two, I don't know if you can short this stock. I know for me, with TOS, I don't think there's any shorts. But if you had followed this and shorted the stock here and gone long here, you would have made a considerable amount of money with VINE. Hold on one second. I just need to get a cough drop. I know Sean always puts in the camera. I think I can do that. I hate to scare anybody because, hold on, how do we do this? Isn't that an OBS? Do you want to discard? How do I open this thing up? Just give me 1 second. Oh, that's back in the chat room. That's here. Just trying to figure out how to do the video capture. I forgot how to do it. Properties. Oh, I think I do a plus. Video capture device. Let's see. Add existing HP capture device. Let's see if it works. Come on. Uh-oh. I hope I don't lose this. Nope, didn't work. I'm trying to put me in there. Display capture. No. I forgot how to do it. Wait. Okay. HD wide vision. Deactivate when not showing. Let's see. I can't find it. I'm sorry, folks. I'll have to figure it out later. It's such an easy thing to do. It's just one click of a button, and I'm able to put me in the bottom corner somewhere. Sean's such a good-looking guy. He doesn't mind putting himself out there. But for me, you know, I'm like old and ugly. I belong to that ugly club. Anyone here with that ugly club? Okay, how do you get the ETB? Oh, that's easy. Into your watch list. Okay, good question. You go up to the top here. All right, let me move this over a little bit. Okay, you can see the little wheel right there on the top. All right, you open the wheel and it says customize. And you go, when it opens up, to available items, and you type in HTB. When you do that, right below it says HTB, ETB. You click on it, add to the items. I already have it. Now, if you want to customize yours like mine, there's a good reason. I would also advise putting in the RSI. The RSI is one of the greatest tools, and it's real time. So if a lot of you have the RSI in the charts, I would take it out because you have to go to a daily to be able to see the true. And I will show you in the HTB, mine are all true. So I have symbol, last, mark percentage. And the reason I have mark percentage over volume percentage is mark percentage works in pre-market where the regular percentage that comes with the watch list does not. Also, I have volume, the RSI, HTB. So add those in. I'll give you another second if you want to write these down or add them into yours so it looks like mine. And I'm telling you, I think these are the best tools that you will need. The only one you really don't need is the last. Actually, I'm thinking about taking it out. It's the last price, but it still makes it easy when I look over to see, well, that's the last price that was for that stock. I'm going to take this off right now. I gave enough time. Now, if you see here, I have two watch lists because I have two TOS set up in two different computers. One, I have this chart, which is my big chart, and I leave it on my left monitor. I actually watch this. So even if I was using Trade Zero in my center computer, I would be watching that big chart because the big chart from TOS is one of the best charts out there. And in this, I have linked. What I've done is I've linked all these stocks by changing, well, you can't see it here. It's not spread out enough. There it is. Okay, it says symbol link. When you drop this, I make this red, and then what I do is I go to the stock itself, and I drop that and make this red. So anytime I hit a stock, it changes my chart, and I don't have to sit there and type it in. But right now I'm watching volume. So any stock. Now what I've done, since I have it open twice, and I have a watch list in both charting systems, I leave one of them in alphabetical order, like this. I had it, Apple. You can't see it because it's blocked a little bit. I have to have a, oh, dang, I lost it. Help me. What did I do with it? All right, hold on. Put it back. Okay. So this is alphabetical order. Actually, it's not alphabetical. Okay, now it's alphabetical. So if I'm looking for a particular stock, and I have a lot of stocks, sometimes when I'm looking in the chart the way I usually set it up on the other side, I can't see it, but I can go down here in alphabetical order and find it immediately. Okay? But I also have it in the other one with highest percentage down to the lowest percentage. And right now we can see Vine and Faith and Pick. Those are all our top stocks right now. And MRN came up to the top there, I see, at 40%. I wasn't even watching. I think that's IM. It's IMRN. It's blocked. You can't really see it. I'd have to open this up and then bring this over a little bit just to open it. Now you can see it. Okay? It's a little different because when you're moving these things back and forth to a different monitor, it changes everything. It even changes even the definition of how I'm looking at it. But that's the greatest thing, being able to click on a stock and have it change my chart. Any other questions? I'm with you. Oh, good. I'm not alone. You're with the Ugly Club, too. John is, too. I mean, look at his face. When John was born, well, I won't even tell you what his mother did. The ugly applications for me for approval. I love it. Any more questions? There's a lot. The reason I like this setup here is because I've got my watch list. Another thing that I will give to you folks, and I will give you this setup. You don't have to change anything. I will give you this setup all set up and my other setup for my other monitor, which I can bring over now, but I'm going to do another day in a different screen because I can't see it. It doesn't open up properly. The beauty, what I was about to say. Okay, you have the news right here, and this particular news is for this particular stock. Whenever you change the stock, it'll change the news. The good thing is you can tell your recent stocks. You can go to your options here. You know, some of you who do Forex, you know, your personal stocks that you look at, you can change that. It can be different from recent. Another thing that I'm going to give out to you folks that nobody has, it's just something I've been compiling for about a year and a half. I add and take away to it, is I drop this down and I go to personal and go to e-shortable stocks. You see this ETBs? Look at this. I've been compiling every time I put new stocks in. I can't even go to the bottom of the list, not on this screen. But every time I go, this is a list of over almost 200 easy to borrow stocks, easy to short stocks on, what's going on here? I'm touching something. Easy to short stocks on TOS. And I make a copy of this list and I will give it away for free to anybody here who's into shorting and wants a copy. It will come in an Excel spreadsheet, so you'll have to take those and put them into the watch list yourself. Every morning, what I do, okay, I'm going to give you an example of what I do. Every morning, when I get up about 6:30, all right, back to my default, I go, and let's put this all in volume, all right? I've already gotten rid of a lot of the small ones, but I go in to Benzinga, and in Benzinga, there's a page called benzinga.com /pre-market. All right, and I'll write that in here for you. Let me see if I can get my mouse in here. Okay, so it's Benzinga, ZINGA.com. Am I doing it right? Yeah, /, okay, pre-market, MARKET. You can go to that and open that up, benzinga.com /pre-market. Must be another line in there. Let's see. I don't know why I didn't put a bar there. Let's see. HTTP /. I don't know if that's the way you do it. Don't have to do it that way. And then there's another one there, and I guess if you do that, It's not working. It should have put a thing. It's there it is. Thank you. That's exactly what I wanted. Yeah, so when you click on that, it brings you to a page, and what I do is I go and there's a percentage change, and I put the highest percentage to the top. You can only do it in the morning. You can't do the changes after, once the pre-market's over. And I copy the first 10, or anything over, let's say 10%, 10% or above in price change, I copy into the bottom of this list. And then what I do is I bring my volume up in the morning. Oops, what did I do? What did I do? I'm hitting things in here I shouldn't be hitting. Okay, make sure this doesn't come on. Oh, wow, that put me on my own page. I don't want to be there. That's YouTube. All right. What I do is, I got to be in the other monitor. What I do is I then hit the volume button and bring all my volume to the top. And anything that's really low, under 100,000, 50,000, 25 shares, 0 shares, I delete them every day. But I watch them. Like this says ETB, easy to buy. So I will make sure, this says Jobs. So what I'll do is I'll go to Jobs and I'll go back to my shortable, and I'll go in here and I'll put these in alphabetical order, and I'll go down and say, is Jobs in here? GHI. And guess what? Jobs is not in here. So what I would do is, let's see if I can do it from this end. I'll go into my real one. Okay. I'm going to just type it in. You can't see what I'm doing. But I put Jobs in now. I put it in the wrong watch list. I got to change my watch list in here for a second. And you'll watch it appear. So, see, that was a good example. I would have just gotten rid of that. So I'll put JOBS in. And now it should be in my shortable list. So if you look again, let's see. There we go. And if you look now, it should be in there. If I can find it. I'm sorry I'm so scrambled sometimes. DEFGHI. There it is. You see? And you can see it's in green. So it's plus today. So now I have it in there, and that's part of that list that I would send to you. But I check them every day before I get rid of them. I usually write them on a piece of paper. I don't go back and forth and back and forth. I write them on a piece of paper, and then I open it up, and I'll check each one against, and then change my list back to my default, because that's what I'm working in right now, and I want to make sure my percentage is to the top, because that's what I'm watching. And somehow I moved this in my other page, which you can't see, and I got to get back there. How do I get back? Let's see. All right, we're good. I'm good. All right. Any more questions? Let me find out where I lost you guys, because I don't know where the chat room is. Let's see. I can't find it. Hello? Can't find my chat room. There we go. Okay, I found it. Sorry. There's so many things open and close when you do this that you can really get lost when you don't know what you're doing. But for a guy who doesn't know what he's doing, I seem to be doing it. Do I have YouTube? Absolutely. In order to open this up and do what I'm doing, the first thing you have to do is open up YouTube, and you have to get in. I'm just starting to save the videos, so this video should be saved, and when I finish, I'll probably just upload it, because it wasn't bad. There's a lot of information in there, so you can go back. What I do is I have to open up YouTube, and then what I have to do is to go to live streaming. And then it opens up and gives me a code in the studio. And I got to take that code and bring it in and put it into the OBS studio, which I have to open. And then I got to go back to, you have to go back into YouTube, and there's a share button. You have to hit that share button and then copy what comes up there. It gives you a code for YouTube. And then you go in where you see it in the room, and it says YouTube above, okay, above the chat room. Above the chart, it says YouTube. I have to put that code inside there and hit the arrow, and then I'm able to share that onto Tradecaster. So there's a lot you got to do. It's a lot of work, and a lot of people don't realize what goes in. So when you see Deck going back and forth and changing screens in AK-47, you really have no idea. You got to give these guys kudos. AK-47 is doing this every day. He got good at it because he did it only once a week for a long time. Plus, he has broadcasting skills and abilities from his past life, working in a radio studio. So, for people who don't know and are just trying to find out and learn to do this and get it just right, it's a chore. It's a lot of work. It took me a while. I wasn't sure. I was missing one area, and I called up Sean. I said, let's get together, and maybe you can help me out. At that time, he really didn't know. He thought he did, but he didn't. And by showing him what I knew, I was able to find what I was looking for. but then there was something missing on somebody else's. We couldn't figure it out, and they just sent me. They sent me something. It says recording data and location. You have to have allow embedding checked, and if you don't have that checked, you can't get the whole entire thing into the TradeCaster. So there's a lot of things that you have to know before I don't know about doing an amazing job, but I'm trying to do the best job I can, and I want to be good at this because I have a lot to teach you guys, and I have a lot to learn, and you guys have a lot to teach me. Listen, I'm doing this. I'm a day trader 4 years. I've had years I'm successful and years that I'm not. And it's not about whether or not I'm successful or I'm winning today or not. It's learning to be consistent, because you will find that as time goes on and you go further into your journey with day trading, a couple of things are going to happen. One, you're going to blow out your account once, twice, or three times, or you're going to learn not to do that. And I didn't ever paper trade it. And the truth is, 95% of the people who don't paper trade first lose. Okay? They lose. And you know what? I won. I was very lucky the first year. And then the second year, I gave it back. November, I won 6,000. And then the last day of November, I gave back 10 and lost 4. I mean, you get to a certain point that you think, right, we're all guilty. You get to a certain point where you got it, you're getting it, and it's working, so you want to go bigger to make those real bucks. Like, how are these guys getting in with 50,000 shares? How are these guys getting in with 10,000 shares? I just showed you in level 2, there's no way right now I can go into Vine and buy 10,000 shares. It's just not going to fill, because you got 900, 800, 700. If we look at the level 2 right now, let's see. I just lost you again. I did it. Okay, hold on one second. I just hit a button and I lost my chart. Hold on. I lost you guys. Where am I? TradeCaster. Okay, I got it. All right. If you look in here right now, it says that 20, you have to add 2 zeros. So that's 20, 200, 400, 400, 300, 300. You add that up, and if I bring this down, let's see if I can bring it down. You can look at more of the level 2. Okay? I don't know what I just did. But if you look, I got rid of the watch list. If you look at the level 2 down here, and this is important, you can buy and sell just from the level 2. But you see how many shares? 400, 400, 300, 300. So right there, that's 8, 11, 1,400. How do you buy 5,000 shares? How are these guys doing it? You see? So either you have to put a limit order in and say, I'm willing to spend right now up to 63 cents. So you put I'm on the wrong stock. I'm on IMRN. I think I changed it. All right, hold on. But either way, it doesn't really matter what stock. I'll go back to Vine because I really want to watch it. Come on. Okay. But you see here, 300, 1,000, 100, 100, 100. But if you go and you put in, let's say, a limit order at 835 or 840, you'll pick up all this. It's yours. You'll take it. But if you put a limit order at 819, you're only going to get 300 shares. Does that make sense to you? See if I can get my thing back. There it is. Okay. You hit all these buttons and you don't know what you're hitting after a while. Wait till I show you the 6-in-1 chart, which I can't get up there yet. I'm going to have to switch computers to a higher definition monitor. I paper trade on slow days like these past 2 weeks. Okay, that's good, and this is how you'll learn. But don't trade more than you would actually use, okay? I know it's hard enough because there's no real emotions attached to doing paper trading. But you have to do this. Like, if you're only going to come in with $10,000, then you got to start paper trading with $10,000. And let me tell you something, folks. Pav Josh, one of the most amazing traders in here, I watched him come in last February in 2020, and he came in here and he had opened an account with, I think, $12,500 or $13,000. And within 1 year, he made $1 million. And now we have this new kid, Arnaldo. He started with $30,000 and turned it into over $1 million. And once you have a lot of money, you can make a huge, I hate to use the word shitload, but you can make a boatload of money, okay? The more you have, the more chances you have of making more. But you also have a good chance of making and losing a lot. And a good example, and I don't mean to bring him up in any negative way, but I spoke with Bob Walder. Okay, he's a great trader. Out of Texas, he's out of Houston, Texas. very, very achieved real estate broker. And let me tell you something. He actually took him about 3-4 months, and he caught on, and he started making 14, 20, 35, 25, 15,000 a day, every day. He was doing great, but he wasn't showing us his losses. And the thing was, he was making big money, and he started to go in real heavy. And he ended up losing $200,000. He stated it yesterday. That's the only reason I'm repeating it. If we were in a 12-step program, I couldn't repeat this. But we're not. You know that marriage is like a 12-step program? You got to take it one day at a time. After I got married, it took me 6 months to make my second decision. And I had to call my sponsor. All right, I'm just kidding. I'll get off of that. I trade with about 500 shares on any stock less than, let's say, 50,000. If it's not 50,000, less than $50. If a stock up to $50, I will go as high as 500 shares. Higher than that, I start dropping it because my account is so large. Now, I could trade higher and I could trade more because I do have a margin account, but I don't always use my margin. Hold on, I got a phone call. Adrian, we got a trader on the line. I'm live right now, so you're in the room with me right now. So you're going to have to come back or come on live.
Back up.
Say hello to the room.
Hey, how's it going? Is this a test or this is...
No, this is a real deal. We're in the room right now, and they're hearing you live. That's a trader, by the way. That's Adrian for music. But I got to let you go. Buddy, I'll talk to you in a few. All right, see, traders call me all day long. I don't usually take phone calls. It's kind of rude. But, yeah, Adrian is the first phone call that I ever made as a moderator over 3 years ago. About 2.5 years ago. Maybe close to 3. And Adrian and I have become best of friends. I've never met him. He lives in Los Angeles. We talk every day. We used to trade together. He'd call me up. I'd put the phone down, and we would trade together. But right now, he's stuck in a bad trade, so his whole account's tied up. And that's something, folks, you should never do. As new traders, I am telling you right now, do not put all your money into one trade unless you do half the amount to do a trade. And if it drops a little and you want to cost average down, just remember one thing. Most of the books I read, and I do it, but most of the books I have read on cost averaging down or cost averaging up when you're shorting tell you not to do that. And the reason is because if you lose twice as much. But if it works out, which for me, 90% of the time, it works in my favor. Deck does it all the time. It works in his favor. He still loses sometimes. And we're all guilty of doing it. And just don't get caught up in chasing a stock. Because if you chase stocks or you start losing and you start revenge trading, it's guaranteed you're going to lose. Any questions? Wake up. Still drinking this morning's coffee. Hey man, you're very welcome. You know, I'm here to help you. I just hope when I'm in the chat room, in Deck's room, and I'm policing the room. And let me tell you something, being a moderator is not always the most glamorous or fun thing, because the truth is you miss out on a lot of trades. You're typing in the room to help somebody else, and the next thing you know, you look over and what you're waiting for is gone. That opportunity has a window, and if you're not there for that window of opportunity, you lose. And I lose a lot that way. So I'm just letting you know, it's not always the best thing. The best setups in this weird, you said it. It is weird markets. And I think it all started last year with the NFTs, and before that with GME and AMC, where the hedge funds and Reddit and the Wall Street bettors came in and said, you know what? Nobody really knew how the hedge fund people were screwing the whole entire organization of traders. And they figured it out. Somebody figured it out. And they figured out they're going to put the screw to them. And they cost them hundreds of billions of dollars. Because what they did is they took the most shorted stocks out there and they started promoting the heck out of them. And when they did that, the hedge funds got caught off guard so fast because they controlled the markets that they lost their pants. I'm surprised that people didn't get whacked out there. Support and resistance. You know, what I always say is support and resistance are the two most important things in buying or selling a stock. If you don't know the support and resistance, then you don't know what retracement or what percentage it's either come down or gone up if you're shorting the stock. Everything for shorting is just the opposite. So you have to remember, if you don't know the support and the resistance, or you just walk into a room, even if it looks great and everybody's jumping in, don't do that. You might make money some of the times, but you will lose more times than most because you need to sit down and wait. And that's why when people post things on the board, I get angry and I say, please put in a stock symbol. Because a guy just walks in because he was working this morning a different shift because he's a fireman or a policeman or a first responder or a nurse or a doctor or whatever. And they come in and they come into the room and they want to know what's going on. Okay? And you have something posted that's beautiful, but there's no stock symbol. It's a wasted out there, okay? You're assuming that we all know what you're talking about. Always put in a stock symbol, okay, when you're talking about a stock. Even if you're talking to somebody else. If you're talking to somebody else and you're having a private conversation, then go to the edge of the room and click on their name and have a private conversation. If you're going to make it a public conversation, then put out the information because it takes us as other traders that much longer to click on it and get to it. And by the time we do, it's all over and we wasted time. You need to learn as traders to become independent. Doesn't mean you don't need the chat room just because you become an independent trader, all right? Independent trader says, I wake up every morning, I turn on my scanners. Do you know that in Thinkorswim, we have some of the greatest scanners? I have different scanners that I will give you that are set up for morning, afternoon, and evening. Now, I could give you those scanners right now in this room, and you could try to figure out how to go into setup on the top and Dropbox. There's a Dropbox for setup. And then what you do when it opens, there's an open shared items, and you can put each one individually. I can give you all 5 of those now, but a lot of them aren't updated. They're not the newest savings that I make, and they're going to need to be tweaked out a little bit. And I'm going to be going over that with you over the next couple of weeks regardless. But let me see if I can pull it up right now. Let me see if I have it here, if I can get to it quick. Because I'm on a different computer. Okay, it's open. I'm opening up a Word document. It might be in this document. Please, please, please be there. I got it. It's the first one. I got it. Okay, come on. This is not hard. This is just a... Okay. Come on. I'm trying to copy it. Come on. All this stuff slows down your computer. It really does. Okay. I did a copy. All right, let me close this up. Let me open you back up. Here we go. I'm going to drop these into the chat room right now. Now, what you're looking at is the TOS MX up to the K. That first one's the big chart. The second one, TOS, that's for the after hours scanner. The next one is for the daytime scanner. The next one after that's for the morning scanner. So if you don't have what you have now saved, then what you knew before you put these, you can put these in there, but before you open them, you need to save what you have. And how you do that. If you're in a certain... if you're in a particular a setup, even if it's a chart setup, you go across the blue line and you go down and it says, that's not it, so it must be the one above it. Right above it, it says, how do I save this? There is a way to save this. Style, studies. Okay, you would go into studies, okay, on the right side. Whatever page you have open, and you go across and it says save study set, and you would hit that and you save it and then you name it, and then you'll have it for the future. Mine are already named after you upload mine in there, and you can do that. Okay, you can go into your setup on the top right of the page in Thinkorswim and drop down the second box says open shared item. It's going to open another box. In that box, it says URL. It's blinking. You copy the first one with your mouse, but don't use your mouse to paste it in there. Use Control-V. Then you hit the preview button, and then hit the import button, and then go and do it all over again until you have all 5 in there. And now on Tuesday of next week, we'll go through those, and I'll go over those, and I'll show you how to tweak them out. I may even do a new set of them over the weekend with them already tweaked out, and then I will give them back to you. You can just reload those over those. Does that sound good? I need some more interaction here on the board so I know what's going on. On losing trades, what percentage or amount do you give yourself before getting out of a play? I was just showing everybody before. What I do, Lucky, if you look over on the chart, I go in and I do a drop. I go into buy custom. I already have set up what they call these riggers. If you look in here, right there, there's 25 cents set as my stop loss. Okay, that's how I do a buy or a sell. It just would be reversed. The red would be on top and the green would be on the bottom. The minute I do it and I hit confirm, this green line disappears. Once I bought it and all I got left is the red. Okay, to sell it, or vice versa. If I shorted, I would have the red first and then the green to complete the transaction. But I put in 25 cents. You can set this up in percentage. You can set them up in... I do it in 25 cents on every 500 shares. I'm willing to lose $125. Okay? If you want to lose 100, then it's 20%. Just put 20 cents. You know, if you can figure it any way you want. You know, any way to figure that out. You know, if you open up a calculator, okay, and you just do, you want to find what percentage, and you want 10%. Is 10 cents. 20% is 20 cents. 15% is 15 cents. You can do it any way you want. If you want to do percentage or just do money. I do money. I'm figuring that when I do a trade, I'm looking to make a minimum of 2 to 1, which is $250. That means I'm willing to lose half of that. Hoping to make more than that. See, I believe something I learned when I first started is you can do 10 trades. Okay, and if you reduce your risk on 5 that you lose, and if you reduce your risk to $100, and you lose $100 on 5 trades, that's $500. But if on the other 5 you get an average of 500, that's $2,500 minus the 5 is $2,000. You would have a $2,000 gain on 10 trades with only 50% win. Now I've had months where I've had as high as 87%. 83%, 91%. I've had some months where I had some great wins. I was on a roll. It's when I change things up when I'm winning that I start losing. If you start doing something right, continue to do it. Because that's the trick in this, is finding something that works for you and staying consistent and doing it. And what people do is it happens and it works for them, and then they say, okay, I've been doing 100 shares and it's working and I'm winning 85% of the time. Now I'm going to go to 500 shares from 100. And you know what happens? The whole system of how you feel inside your stomach, and when you have real skin in the game, changes. You get scared. You know what? Things start to move. You jump out. You stay in too short. You stay in too long. Somebody drops it and you forgot to put because you're doing a mental stop loss because you got those bad habits that you learned, and I won't mention from who, but you got bad habits and you don't have stop losses in there, and all of a sudden somebody drops. I saw it this morning in Vine. Guy dropped about 300,000 shares, and that's a stock with less than 600,000 shares. All right, this is a very low, very volatile stock. Somebody dropped a lot of stock, a lot of shares. And the way to figure out, if you look at your chart and you go to any candlestick, where am I? Wrong mouse. Okay, I got 2 mice here. If you go to any candlestick, you see this right there? When I hit this, I can't see it on mine in this one. But if you put your mouse there, usually above, you're able to see on the chart. I don't know why it's not in here. Let me just try something real quick. It's not showing on this chart. I don't know why, because I changed the direction of my chart. Let me see something real quick. Oh, I know why. Let me delete this. I was showing you before. There it is. You see this? When I do this right here, actually it's too small. I'm going to get rid of this for a second. I'm going to get rid of the watch list, and I'm going to open this up. Okay. Now, you see the volume? When I go to any candlestick, I can see, look at that, 943,000 shares. Okay? But when a guy comes in, and the size of the candlestick has nothing to do with the amount or the volume of the candlestick. The size of the candlestick tells you the price. From here is 966 for an opening of 881. That's what that tells. But you see, this one had 943, but this little one had 335. This little one had 382,000. These two are different. They're twice the size of each other, and they have the same amount of shares. Look at this little one right here. 766,000 shares traded right there. That's the example. Somebody sold off about probably 600,000, and when everybody saw it going down, they jumped in with it. And that's where the price changes from, let's say, 949 to real quick to 860. That's a big difference. That's 50, 60 cents. And when you're sitting there with 2,000, 3,000 shares, you just lost yourself 50 cents, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 in a snap when you don't have a stop loss. And somebody just market orders out. And you cannot see market orders, okay? You cannot see market orders. You cannot see market orders. I don't know. I stopped the film for a second. I don't know why I did that. You cannot see market orders. You could only see limit orders in level 2. And in here, you'll see everything. This is time and sales. Everything that gets bought and sold, you'll see in time and sales. So if something's going red, 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 do you want to buy in, or do you want to wait till it starts going a little green? But you got to remember something else that you have to realize. When there is a lot of sale, look at the chart, sale. You see this green one here? You think it's about to pop up, and it might, but that's not necessarily a buy to go up. Those are the closings of the shorts. Okay, when they get out, they have to buy a stock to complete their transaction. It's just the opposite. When they want to purchase the stock, they have to sell the item, which means they're borrowing the stock from the broker. You with me? Any questions? If we're all good, then I'm going to possibly bring it to an end and go get some lunch. I got a lot more to teach you guys. I have a booklet that I'm putting together of things and tricks and stuff that I've learned over the past 4 years. I've been writing them down. When Pop Josh used to talk, I used to write them down. There was another guy, I can't mention his name in here, but he was a great trader a couple of years back. He used to say a lot of things or at least type a lot of things that made sense. I wrote them down on a piece of paper. So what I'm doing is I'm putting that together, and I might put it out in a document that I can give away. I'm not looking to sell it or make money right now off my time to you guys. I just want you all to become successful traders. Okay? Learn not to do and make some of the mistakes that I made. You know? It's not all about showing you how good I am and how great I've become a success in trading. You know what? A lot of people can teach, and some people can't teach. And some people are just good at showing you things. It doesn't mean because I'm not making $500,000 a year that I can't teach you how to make $500,000 a year. I have a life experience. I'd like to tell you I'm going to be 37. But the truth is, does anybody know? I will be 68 this year. Believe it or not, people like Taylor Trader, great trader. That guy, when he's around, I wish he's here now. I see he's over in Deck's room. I can't believe I just mentioned his name, and I look over and there he is. When Taylor says, and I love him for this, he says, I'm going to buy this stock, I'm going to buy this amount of shares, and I'm going to buy it at this price. He says that before he's even in. I won't mention any names, but there are people in this room that will tell you, oh, I'm going to get in, I'm in this, this stock's going to go to this and that, and, you know, but I'm going to get in, but they're already in. They just want you to push them up. That's why I don't make as much money, because I give you good alerts and then I forget to get in. I need to do like they do, but I guess it's not my nature. I'm a Christian by faith, and I just like to shine that off to other people. Any questions? What's for lunch? Since it was Taco Tuesday yesterday, it could be Wednesday. What do you think? With the hot sauce. I have spoken to more of you traders in this room than even Deck. I have spoken to over 100 traders in this room on the phone for at least an hour or more over the last year and a half. I got a good pastrami down here. You know, that's the one thing, Florida delis, we got Jewish delis down here. So good. You want how much for that? You ever see the price of a pastrami sandwich today? You go to New York City, it can cost you $50 to $75 for a sandwich. I can get almost the same sandwich here for about $15. Leftovers. Hey, I make chili. I make enough chili once a week, and I freeze it. Okay, and every container will give me 2 portions. So I take one, and one goes back in the refrigerator. So that's 2 days. I get 8 days of. Wow, Deck's room just went down. Where'd it go? Anybody else in there? I just went down. Uh-oh. I don't know if you guys can hear me right now. I don't think so. If you can, I'm just going to close the room. OBS went down. Don't know why. OBS went down. Can anybody hear me? I can't get into Tradecaster. Deck threw me out. That is so weird. All right, I'm closing it down, folks. Closing it down.